Welcome, everyone. Welcome. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to our live. Welcome, everyone. I'm Pavi LG, your host. I welcome everyone to the room. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm glad that I have my chat on today so you all can interact if you wish to do so. I hope you all can hear me well. Indeed. And we're going to go through a few things that must be talked about indeed. Welcome, everyone. Now, I'm going to be here chatting with folks today. So if you want to uh, reach out and send a message in the chat, as long as it's something appropriate, of course, um, then I will allow it, of course. Um, okay, here. So keep everything nice and clean cut, folks. All righty. So, again, welcome everyone. Peace to the people and power to the truth. This is War Notes. And I haven't been here in a minute, I shall say. Um, Not because the war stopped, but because the war never sleeps, it seems. Tonight, today, depending on where you are at, today is February 10th, 2026. It is 1:08 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Today, we are talking about the wars you see on your screens and the wars they don't want you naming, the wars overseas, the wars in our neighborhoods, the wars in legislation, the wars dressed up as policy, and the war on your mind, your labor, your humanity. Everything I'm talking about today lives under one truth. Modern day slavery did not end, it evolved. And if that makes you uncomfortable, good. That means you are still awake indeed. So that is good. Now we are going to start global because there's a lot of global chaos occurring. Because what's happening overseas is not separate from what's happening here. War is still raging in Ukraine. Gaza remains a humanitarian catastrophe. Shall I say? Is that the best word to put it? Indeed, it is a catastrophe. Sudan, Congo, and Haiti, entire populations living under conditions the world has decided are acceptable losses. We are watching modern colonialism in real time, not with chains, but with sanctions, debt, proxy wars, and silence. And notice something: the countries suffering the most are the ones whose labor, land, or resources have already been extracted dry. That's not coincidence. That's a system. That is a system. Believe nothing else. That is a system. It's always been a system. It's modern day slavery at its top. This is what I talk about in my books. It's modern day slavery at its extreme. And the way that it's being hidden or covered up, shall I say, is by placing, and always this has been um, since our early 1900s, the Social Security number. That was just another way to cover up the intentions um, of our ancestors, shall I say. The intentions were gross, grotesque. The intentions were something that is awful to even imagine now. However, it's still occurring because the overseers, aka ICE, having a meltdown, is taking hold of people, innocent human beings. I'm talking about human rights here. I'm always talking about civil rights, but in this case, I shall say human rights because we all are human. This is what it should be about. Modern day slavery doesn't always look like forced labor camps. Sometimes it looks like endless wars, so people never get to rebuild. Sometimes it looks like aid that never arrives. Sometimes it looks like the world watching and scrolling. Now let's go ahead and bring it home because slavery has always needed enforcement. Minnesota, Ohio, across this country, we are seeing legislation and enforcement blur the line between law and control. Are we not? In Minnesota, federal immigration actions have left communities shaken, families afraid to move, afraid to speak, afraid to exist. In Ohio, there is active movement to push law enforcement into deeper cooperation with ICE. Let me say this clearly, and I want people listening in Ohio to hear me. Pay attention, protect yourselves, know your rights. Because history tells us the never stops at the line they claim it will. That's what history tells us. History tells us this never stops at the line they claim it will. Let that seep in for a moment. Let that seep in for a moment. Let's seep that in for a moment. Slavery always needs paperwork. Slavery always needs laws. Slavery always needs people who say, I'm just doing my job. Hmm. That's how it is. That's what's going on. Again, I say slavery always needs paperwork. Slavery always needs laws. Slavery always needs people who say, I am just doing my job. And some people know it's wrong and do it anyway. We will return in less than 30 seconds. Thank you all for listening. Thank you all for listening. You all are tuned into War Notes. If you are not yet subscribed, please take the time to do so. We will return to our live broadcast in less than 30 seconds to a minute. Thank you all. All right, returning to the broadcast. I am Pavio G, your host, and this is War Notes. When we connect modern day slavery as we connect the dots, we must know and always keep in mind modern day slavery is not just about immigrants, it's about workers who can't afford to be sick. It's about people working 2 and 3 jobs and still drowning. It's about surveillance replacing overseers. It's about policing, replacing plantations. Again, it requires policing to replace plantations. It's about prisons replacing chains. And it's about media distraction, keeping you from naming it. And this is why I wrote the book, Modern Day Slavery. You can find my book on Barnes and Noble. All you have to put in is Modern Day Slavery, Paviel G or Paviel Gallegos, if you wish to do it that way. And you will be able to find the copy of my book. It's a hardcover copy, 106 pages of knowledge. I would suggest that you all um, take a dive into it if you're able to do so. Because if you don't name the system names you. That's how it goes. If you don't name the system names you. And yes, the book is available now at Barnes and Noble for under $25. But if you send me an email to bwtbgroup@gmail.com, or you send me or fill out my form on my website at the cncmovement.org, then I'll reach back out to you and you can get the book for half the price. Because knowledge should not be a luxury. So we dive into the Super Bowl and what happened with that. So let's talk about the Super Bowl for a quick second. I'll be honest, the game itself was awful. But what wasn't awful was the people, the unity, the joy, the way folks came together, laughed together, felt together. That part, beautiful, just beautiful. And shout out to Bad Bunny because culture, rhythm, and presence matter. Even in a system built to exhaust us, we still find ways to shine, correct? I was thinking just now, because our ancestors warned us and they sang through it like songs from Sam Cooke. Okay, we know soul music. A little bit of the CNC movement I would like to discuss before leaving you all shortly. I want people to go to the CNC movement. That is the www.thecncmovement.org. There are history essays there you will not get in school, not because they don't exist, but because they don't serve power. Education has always been the first thing enslaved people were denied, and it's still being controlled today. This is War Notes. We don't do comfort here. We do clarity, right? And if you felt uneasy today, that means you are still human. So please share this. Please talk about it. Read, ask questions, all of those things, very important. And stop letting them, for any reason, convince you that survival is freedom. And until the next time, you all, we shall talk soon. Thank you all for listening.